Okay, 7th graders, this is the test corrections for your formative assessment number 3, which is the test that you got back today. Okay, so you can watch as much of this video as you want, or you can just watch what you need to watch. Now, the questions for the mental math, the first one, A, is 9 times 6. B was name the property A plus 0 equals A. What property does that represent? C, 7 times 8. D, name the property 5 plus 3 equals 3 plus 5. E, what is the first order of operation when you're using GEMDAS? So in GEMDAS, what is first? What do you do first? F is 9 times 7. G is name the property. A times 1 is equal to A. H, name the property. 3 times the quantity 2 plus x equals 6 plus 3x. I, 8 times 7. J, 8 plus 5. Okay, that's your mental math problem, so you're supposed to have the answers to those on your test. Okay, problem number 1 says x plus 3 times the quantity y plus 1, and we have to plug in x is equal to negative 3, y is equal to 7. So you're going to plug in the value. For x, you're plugging in a negative 3. And for y, you're plugging in a 7. Okay? And so now that you've plugged it in, you need to do the math. And of course, we have to do parentheses first. So we need to add this guy first. So you leave the negative 3 plus another 3 times. And when you add this, you get an 8. And now, according to GEMDAS, you have to do your multiplication and your division first. So I'm going to leave my negative 3 plus, and 3 times 8 is 24. Now my 24 is positive and my 3 is negative, so it means that my answer is going to be a positive answer. So 24 is positive and I'm adding it to a negative 3, which means I'm really subtracting. I get 21, but my answer is positive. Number 2. Number 2 is 4x plus 28 divided by y, and I'm using these same values again. So I'm going to plug them in. 4 times the quantity of negative 3 plus 28 divided by y, and y is 7. Now notice I'm dropping them in with parentheses. That's good format because later we're going to have other negative numbers like this one, and you need to make sure you have it in parentheses. So now we do our math. We do GEMDAS left to right, so we do multiplication and division first. So 4 times negative 3 is negative 12 plus, and 28 divided by 7 is 4. So now I have a negative 12 plus a 4. And since they're opposite signs, I'm actually subtracting, and 12 minus 4 is 8. But this one has the greatest absolute value. It's the bigger, or appearing to be bigger number, so my answer has to be a negative. Number 3. Number 3 is negative 16 times 6. And so I know that I have a negative times a positive, so my answer is going to be a negative. And now over here, I'm going to do the math, and I'm going to multiply. 6 times 6 is 36, carry my 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So my answer is negative 96. Number 4, negative 135 divided by 15. Okay, and the 15 is also negative. So I have a negative divided by a negative, so I know my answer is going to be a positive. And now I have to do the math. So I can do long division. 135 divided by 15. I can do some multiplication. I can say, oh, let's see how many times. 15 times 8 is, 8 times 5 is 40, carry my 4. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12, 120. So that's not quite enough, but I can see that it's 15 away. So it's really 15 times 9, and I'm just going to double check. 9 times 5 is 45, carry my 4. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13, and I get 135. So I know that it went in 9 times, and so my answer is that positive 9. Number 5, is the absolute value of negative 18 minus the absolute value of 26. Now in order to solve this problem, you have to do your grouping symbols first, so I need to pull out my value. The absolute value of negative 18 is 18. Keep my subtraction sign. The absolute value of 26 is 26. Okay, and now I don't subtract in algebra, I add the opposite. So I have 26 negatives and I'm adding them to 18 positives, which means I am really subtracting. And when I subtract and I borrow, I end up with 8. But my answer has to be a negative 8 because this one appears to be the biggest number. It has the biggest absolute value. So my answer is a negative 8. Number 6. Number 6 is use two methods to describe absolute value. So if you were to define absolute value, I'm looking for the answer of the distance away from 0. And I'm also looking for the formatting of yours telling me I did A, and A is the definition, and here it is. I also accepted hops away from 0. B is an example. So if you were going to give an example, I was looking for something like negative 2 equals 2, or the absolute value of 15 equals 15. Okay, either of those would be an acceptable answer. C, or an example, C is a diagram. If you wanted to diagram this, I was looking for a number line. And I would put some numbers on here. And if I said, what is the absolute value of negative 3 equals, then I would be saying, okay, I'm starting at my negative 3 and I'm going 1, 2, 3 hops. Well, the absolute value is 3 hops away from 0, or the distance of 3 away from 0. And this would be your acceptable diagram, of course, with this as well. Okay, number 7. Number 7 said 18 plus a negative 29. And I had to simplify it. So I have negatives and I'm adding them to positives. And so since the signs are different, I'm subtracting. So I'm going to show my subtraction over off to the side. 9 minus 8 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So my answer is 11, but I have to decide if it's positive or negative. This is the biggest appearing number, so therefore this answer has to show that sign, a negative. Number 8. Number 8 said 15 minus 42. And again, I was looking for you to say, oh, we don't subtract in algebra, we add the opposite and change your little symbols. And then we have negatives and we have positives and we're adding them together, so I should really see some subtraction over here. And 2 minus 5 you can't do, so you have to borrow. So 12 minus 5 is 7, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So I would get the answer of 27. But again, it either has to be negative or positive, and since this is the bigger appearing number, my answer holds its sign, which is negative. Okay, so negative 27. And then you had the last question at the bottom, and the question said, if x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 3, solve x, y minus 2x. So I'm going to plug in my values. X is 4, y is 3, minus 2 times, and x is 4. And now I have to use GEMDAS to solve. So I'm going to say 4 times 3 is 12, minus 2 times 4, which is 8. And I don't subtract in algebra, I add the opposite. So a positive 12 and a negative 8, if I subtract because they're opposite signs, I get a 4. And it has to keep the positive value because the 12 is biggest. So I get a positive 4, which was A, as an answer on that sheet. Okay, make sure you turn in your test corrections along with your test signature and a signature on your missing work page if you have any.